Look, normally I like to play up the intros a lot, but I mean, I don't really got anything else to say other than it's literally just Chrono from Chrono Trigger in D&D. Let's fucking hop into it, shall we? Now, it's just one quick thing of note, this build does use multiclassing. Double check with your DM before you do it, because multiclassing is an optional rule. But that being said, let's go ahead and hop into the actual build now. Alright, first things first, his race. Crono, pretty simple. He's a human. Not even a variant human. No feats on this build, unless you want to add him later. That being said, he has the background of a folk hero. Why? Because that's the one that fit him best. Because none of the backgrounds are really great. You can make your own custom background if you wanted to. But Folk Hero does the job well because it fits Crono at least somewhat. Him being from a small village, kind of well known. It fits kind of. Plus it gives you proficiency in animal handling and survival. That being said though, we gotta get into the meat and potatoes of Crono. So let's hop into his stats first before we get into classes. So with standard with all my builds, I'm using point buy. By all means, you can roll your stats. Just use this as a base guide if you do roll them, though. For our highest stat, we want strength to be at our highest, followed by dexterity, constitution, and intelligence, all being tied at 13. Charisma is at 11, with wisdom just having to be our dump stat. We do not need wisdom for this build. Dexterity, you arguably don't need more than what I have there. You basically just want it because you're going to be wearing medium armor instead of heavy armor, because in the game Crono really doesn't wear armor at all. So at the very least we could put on in a medium armor that'll be somewhat more realistic, instead of him just walking around just in casual clothes. Plus he wears vests and plates and stuff. So you can put him in half plate and still be fine. If you really did want to put him in full armor though, by all means go ahead, because you will not be using a shield with this build. So let's hop into the next part. So the build in question here for Crono, you may be asking what the class is. You're going to want to start off with Fighter. More specifically 5 levels of Fighter, so that way you still get multi-attack. We're going to go Eldritch Knight with it, and I'll talk about spells in a second. Then we're going to go 2 levels of Paladin. Why only 2 levels? Because that way we stay a half caster, technically, because by level 20 we will still have 10 levels of casting. Because once you go Eldritch Knight and Paladin, we get this special fucking chart, which we'll go over here real quickly. Alright, so normally when you are a magic caster, you will stick to 1 magic casting table. However, for example, we are an Eldritch Knight. So, up until level 5, our casting table will stick with the Eldritch casting table. Meaning, we have the 2 cantrips known, the 4 spells known, and the 3 first level spell slots. Then it gets a little more complicated. Because normally, when you dip 2 levels of Paladin, you now have 2 levels of Paladin and 5 levels of Eldritch Knight. 2 different varying casting levels. So, what chart do you use now? And that is the spell slots per spell level total chart, the chart we have there in the middle. So then, what you will do from this point onward is you will round your spell list by your casting level in that class. So, with Eldritch Knight, you are a 1/3 caster, so every 3 levels in Eldritch Knight count as 1 level in total spell casting, and 2 levels in Paladin count for 1 total level. So that means when you are level 7, 5 levels 5 levels Eldritch Knight, 2 levels Paladin, you are a 2nd level caster. Then you will reach 3rd level when you get to level 6 Eldritch Knight, level 2 Paladin. The reason we do it like this is so that way, at the end of it, when you reach level 20, you will be a 10th level caster. That you will technically have more spells than a common Eldritch Knight, and have the same amount of spells as a Paladin as an Eldritch Knight. But, in addition to this, we also will get 3 cantrips. Now, one other thing of note here, though, is while we will have a 5th level spell slot and a 4th level spell slot, we will not have any 4th or 5th level spells. Because when we get to 18th level in Eldritch Knight, we will only have 3rd level spell slots known and no 4th or 5th level spell slots known. That means we can upcast our spells to 4th and 5th, but we cannot learn 4th and 5th level spells. Because our total casting magic is that high, but our class-specific magic casting is not that high. I hope that makes sense to you, and this is why I also recommend this build to advanced players, because that is probably one of the most confusing things about 5th edition, is the multi-classing spellcasting list. So, just a quick note, by the end of it, you will be a 10th level caster and have 4th and 5th level spell slots. You will not have 4th and 5th level spells. You can upcast spells, which is what we'll be doing with a lot of our Paladin spells, because it does not matter that we do not have 4th and 5th level spells when we have the spell slots, because we can upcast our spells from Paladin, which we only know 1st level spells from, up to 4th and 5th level. Alright, now that we got that nitty-gritty magic wumbo-jumbo out of the way, let's talk about how we're actually dispersing our levels. Starting at level 1, you will be going Fighter, so that way you get that lovely D10. I mean, Paladin has that too. But then you also get the skills. You get 2 skills of your choosing: Acrobatics, Animal Handling, Athletics, History, Insight, Intimidation, Perception, and Survival. Well, would you look at that? We already have 2 of those. We already have Animal Handling and Survival. What you probably want next is Athletics and Acrobatics. Both very nice things that you'll probably want. Starting equipment, you can do whatever you want with it. I personally would recommend chainmail, along with 2 martial weapons. And then we also get our fighting style. Now, there's 2 different fighting styles you want to take. You will be getting both of them. It just more so depends on how your playstyle goes, which one you want to take first. You're going to be wanting to take the defense fighting style, which while you're wearing armor, you get an additional +1 bonus to your AC. You're going to want that because you're not going to be having a shield, you're going to be using a 2-handed weapon. And the other one you're going to be wanting is Great Weapon Fighting. When you roll a 1 or a 2 on a damage die for an attack you make with a melee weapon that you are wielding with 2 hands, you can re-roll the die and must use the new roll, even if the new roll is a 1 or 2. The weapon must have the 2-handed or versatile property for you to gain this benefit. And the reason you want this is because you're, like I said, going to be using pretty much only a 2-handed weapon and no shield. Both of those will be pretty nice. And then on top of that, you also get Second Wind, so you can heal yourself a little bit and keep yourself in the fight longer. Then, level 2 comes around, you get Action Surge, which lets you make yourself get a whole nother action. Pretty nice. 3rd level, you'll be taking Eldritch Knight. We'll get into spells on what I recommend taking later. 4th level comes around, you get an ability score improvement, and this one is actually very important. That 4th level ability score improvement, at least one of those points has to go into Charisma. Because as you know, our Charisma stat right now is only 12. It needs to go up to 13. I personally recommend putting both stats into Charisma, so that way it is a 14 in Charisma. So that way you can properly multi-class into Paladin. Because without a 13 in Charisma and a 13 in Strength, you cannot multi-class into Paladin. So we need that 13. Then you'll take 1 more level to get that extra attack. And this is also why I recommend sticking with Fighter instead of sticking with Eldritch Knight, or instead of sticking with Paladin long term. Because Fighter will get you 3 multi-attacks later on, whereas Paladin will only get you 2. And if you have 3 multi-attacks, you can add Divine Smites to all of them, which is kind of gross. But yeah, so then at 6th level, after you've finally gotten your multi-attack, well, guess what? You don't need to be a fighter anymore. Because you are a magic boy. You've learned the ways of magic, and so you are going to be taking your first level of Paladin. Upon taking your first level in Paladin, you gain a couple nice benefits. You get a couple more proficiencies and some skills you get to choose, and you also get Divine Sense and Lay on Hands. Then, you'll take the second level of Paladin to get a second fighting style, and this is where you'll take that other fighting style you didn't take previously. Either Great Weapon Fighting or Defense. Whichever one you didn't take before, you'll take now, because you cannot stack up the same fighting style twice. But you can get multiple fighting styles. Then, you'll also get your spellcasting ability as Paladin. This is the reason you also want your Charisma to be a little higher, is because Paladin uses Charisma to cast, where Eldritch Knight uses Intelligence to cast. Meaning, you'll have 2 different casting focuses on your spells. And this is also when you get that weird spell list from now on. But the benefit of this is now you have access to first level Paladin spells, which is why we're doing this in the first place, because Crono's magic is weird. Crono has lightning-based attacks and a revive. And that's really fucking hard to get in D&D on one class. That's why we're doing this. Because Eldritch Knight helps us get the lightning along with Paladin. And then the revive, well, the revive you're kind of out of luck unless you take a crap ton more levels than Paladin. But I guess we can hop into spells now. Let's hop into that. Last but not least, we have the really easy thing, which is spells. So, for those first 5 levels of Eldritch Knight, you'll get your spells. You only know 4 spells. And 3 of them have to be Abjuration or Evocation from the Wizard spell pool. There are basically 2 spells I recommend. You can go nuts with the other ones. I basically just recommend Shield and Earth Tremor. Those are the 2 big spells. You could also use Witch Bolt for that thunder damage, thunder/lightning damage that Crono uses so much. But the choice is yours. And then Paladin spells. All Paladin spells are known for first level, but there's really only one spell I'm going to recommend you be using, and that is Thunderous Smite. Because Thunderous Smite is a bonus action, it's verbal, and all it does when you hit a creature, the first time you hit a creature with a melee weapon during that turn, the spell rings audibly with thunder and it deals 2 extra d6 of thunder damage. Additionally, if the target is a creature, it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone and push 10 feet away. So you cast Thunderous Smite as that bonus action, then you wail on the dude. That's your lightning strikes, lightning/thunder strikes. Witch Bolt could be your other ones. Earth Tremors knock them prone more often, and Shield is just good safety to have. That being said, though, that's the build I have made for Crono in D&D. If you have any complaints, suggestions, let me know in the comments below. And that being said, I've been your host, G Smith 64, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.